Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones. This is back with a new video on got this hat today, and if you're wondering, man, how many hats do you have? A lot. But this video is entitled "If You Can't Take the Heat." Now, I just did a video shortly about a time when my radiator hose blew, and it was like 94 degrees outside. Um, it felt like 100. It said that it would feel like 102. Fortunately, it was a dry heat. And I think the inside of my truck, because I don't have AC, but it doesn't really bother me. It said somewhere around 92, 94. But the truck's staying still. Um, so I have my window cracked just to have all the heat, let the heat vent out, so I'm not cooking, so that nothing in my truck is cooking. In fact, the New York cheesecake I had sitting in the truck didn't melt, didn't really go bad. By New York cheesecake, I mean like I said, like a donut from Krispy Kreme. That's where I broke down. Um, so I had this thought as I was walking back and forth to King's Auto Supply, and back to Krispy Kreme. Walk back to return the hose. Walk back to my truck, and I was able to be mildly comfortable. I was wearing basically what you see here. I had this black T-shirt on, jeans, engineer boots, and underneath it I had this white T-shirt. I just happened to have it on as I went about my day, and I have the sleeves cut off on the white T-shirt. Kind of a makeshift wife beater. Um, I didn't sweat a whole lot. I wasn't too uncomfortable. It was a stressful situation. My radiator hose blew, and I was trying to get back on the road as quickly as I could. But I just remember how the heat was something else. But I made out okay. Got back home, fine. And it got me thinking. Uh, and shout out to Irish, Hibernia's son. He talks. One of the 3 points he talks a lot about is physical fitness. And I was thinking that if you're someone who's not used to the heat, and let's say something happens around summertime or springtime, and you're not it's just not something you're not acclimated to a lot of heat, to a lot of hot weather. Dress accordingly. Now, oh, and gear up accordingly. Now, I say that because I recognize throughout over the years there have been many scenarios discussed where, let's say that you may encounter some type of violence, and I did a video, I think it was like 3 years ago, about how much ammo in SHTF, and what I believe is how much carry the amount of ammo that would be necessary for that situation at that point in time. Don't carry so much that it impedes your movement. Who wants to be out there with 500 rounds for their AR when they can't sprint from point A to point B, you know, in a hurry. And it got me thinking about weather. Do we have the right gear for the right weather? I don't think anybody wants to be out there, all tacked out when it's just, the weather is saying, that's very, you got all this gear on you. Oh, that's very funny. You're not going to be able to move anywhere. You're going to be very uncomfortable. You're going to be, your concentration going to be off because you'll be more so you're going to probably be focused on, oh man, it's so hot outside. Um, you're sweating. You just got all this excess stuff on you. Then you have to start stripping things off, So I think it's important that if you're not used to hot weather, like I'm quite used to it. I've been living in South Carolina since about 2001, and I would come out here. Before then, I would come down here for the summertime. And dressing for hot weather is something that something I do. It's something that's very important because I don't want to be exhausted. I don't want to be too tired to do much of anything because of how hot it is outside. Uh, if you're not used to it, figure out what's your comfort level. Now, if you want to kind of push your comfort level into territory that's never been before, to see if you can get, see if you can properly adjust. say go right ahead, but please be careful about how you do it. One of the things you don't want to have happen is you get, either sunburn or you get heat stroke because you're exhausted. You're drinking off water. You didn't dress appropriately. You didn't spend time in the shade. Also because you got too much shit on you. You got too much stuff hanging off your body. I think it's good to just have. Um, if you had to carry your things. Now, I'm speaking from just personal experience, some things that I've seen. If anybody out there has any guys out there who served in the sandbox, you have any tips and tricks you want to share, please share it in the comment section. Make a video response. But find something that you can wear that is breathable. If you ever had to carry any gear on you, make sure it's not something it's too heavy or it would be too unwieldy, or it's not the situation is not doesn't really call for you to carry all this a whole bunch of stuff on you. So kind of dress accordingly. Because one thing you don't want to have happen is, like I said, you may get getting heat stroke, getting exhausted too early. Also, it's also great to have water on you. And I know I know a lot of guys have have that as part of their preps. They have. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about. I'm only talking about on your person. You have a canteen or two canteens. You have like a camel pack on you, and that's something I have. I have a camel pack on my go bag, which I also thought about doing something like that. Cause I've seen some pictures of guys that have a camel pack attached to their plate carrier, and I think that's a great idea to you can stay hydrated while also keeping vital organs protected. So things like that. Um, Make sure you wear socks that are breathable, so that you're not going to be cooking your feet in. Like I said, I wear engineer boots, so I'm always wearing wool socks because they keep stay temperature on my feet, keep sweat away. I just know, but it does feel good when I get home at the end of the day and just take my boots off and just kick my feet up. So, oh man, it feels so great. um, but that's that. Those are some thoughts I wanted to share with you guys on. And if you had to you had to gear up and it's just very hot outside. Some things you could do. Um, I understand that if you're susceptible to sunburn, have sunscreen on hand, or wear clothing that protect your skin, but it also allows you to have have a good amount of free movement and maneuverability. If you have to find yourself in a situation where it's you know things gonna awry and you have to move around a lot and it's hot outside. But please share your thoughts. I'd like to see what you guys say on the subject. What ideas you guys have on the subject of extreme temperature. Whether it be in this video it's going to be on the hot end. Um, please share your thoughts. Leave a comment or make a video response. You can grab some complaints. Send me a PM. I'll see what I can do to address them. That's my video. If you can't take the heat, I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.